So welcome to another session of Introduction to Data Structures and Algorithms. So in coming 4 sessions, we'll be discussing regarding the queues. So in previous sessions, we saw a few of the data structures, that is arrays. Then we saw what is linked list, how it is implemented. Then we saw the stacks. So which falls under the different data structure categories. So next data structure, what we'll be looking forward is the queues. So again, what is meant by a queue? A queue is again a data structure, and it is a linear data structure. Now, in these queues, right, that is the new data structures what we are going through. We can again add and delete an element, that is insert or delete an elements at two distinct points. So in stacks, what we were doing, it was operating on if you remember, it was operating on last in, first out. So which was the principle of the stack. So in this way, what was happening, the element which was pointed by the stack pointer will be deleted from the list, that is the stack first. So in this case, if you just observe in stack pointer, whichever element was added recently, that gets removed or deleted from the stack. And if I have to insert any element in the stack, I can insert it only at the top. But in queues, it is slightly different as compared to the stack. So in queues, what is happening is you can either insert an element from one end and you can delete the element from the other end. So that is what this statement specifies. Now, where all the queues are utilized. So wherever you see the scheduling or resource sharing aspects, right, which are basically the system processes. Say you are looking for round robin scheduling. So in that case, what you're doing is you need to store which process or which program will be given the access. So you need to store that. So in suppose in round robin scheduling, if you have stored the ID of the program, so you have stored first ID, second ID, and third ID. So if some fourth this thing comes, it will be added at the end of the queue. It will be added at the end of the queue. And who will be getting the chance when the system gets free? The first process or the first program which was entered into the queue. So this will be the first person who will be going out. If you have to add any this thing, you will be adding it at the end. And if you want to delete or if you want to remove any element, you will be removing it from the front end. So this is what queue operates on. Therefore, you can see the usage of queues in some of the system processes such as scheduling and resource sharing. Now, what are the basic concepts which are pertaining to queues? So first of all, we specified that it is a data structure and it is a linear data structure. Now, in this case, we can insert elements at the end of the queue. We can insert elements at the end of the queue, which is termed as the rear end. And we can delete elements from the front end, which is termed as front end queue. So a rear end, you will be able to delete the elements, and from the front end, you will be able to insert the elements. So now, what is the principle on which the queue operates? It operates on the principle of first in, first out. So if you see the queue lines, right? So if you see a queue of people, so if you're standing in a queue, who is the person who leaves the queue first? It is the first person who has entered the queue. And if any new person has to come in, he'll be coming and standing at the end. So here, this side will be the rear end, and at this side, we'll be having the front end. So you might have seen that when you're giving print command, right? The printer, the software, what it does is it schedules which one will be printed first and which one will be printed last. So in that process, you might have observed that the queue is operating over there. So if you have given the print instructions, say here, say these are the pages or these are the elements which you want to print, and C is the first this thing who has asked for print. So in this one, C and comes and stands in the first. So he is the first person to come into the queue. And here you can see that B is the last person who is present in the queue. So therefore, when the printer starts off, it will print first C. Once this is done, it will print A, and then it will continue till the end of the queue. So here, so these are just a few examples pertaining to queue. So now when we consider the logical representation of the queue in the memory, so how it will be considered. So when we are storing the elements, so we'll be inserting, inserting the element from the rear end. We'll be inserting the element from the rear end, and we'll be deleting or removing the elements from the front end. So here deletion will be happening from the front end and insertion will be happening at the rear end. So here this was the first person who had entered the queue and he'll be the first person to leave the queue. So therefore it will be operating in the first in, first out principle. So now let us look at a few of the operations which are performed with the queue. So basically there are two operations what we can discuss. One is the insert operation and one is the delete operation. So in insert operation, we need to add a element into the queue. So again, when we are performing this, we need to consider two elements, that is the front and the rear parameters. So which is nothing but, say if you're using a linked list, it will be the pointers what it will be pointing to. So here if I just have to specify it in terms of pointers, this front pointer is a special pointer which helps us to point to the first element in the queue, and rear is a special pointer which helps us to point to the last element which is present in the queue. So this is what we have for the queue. So if I consider that this is the queue before the insert operation, and if I have to insert any element, I'll be inserting with respect to the rear pointer. So what I'll be doing is, if I have to insert any element, I'll be inserting at the end of the queue. So here 4 is the last person, and if any new element has to be added, so that element will be added after 4. So now in this case, what will be done? Rear will be incremented. Rear will be incremented and made to point to the next location. It will be incremented and made to point to the next location, and in this location the element will be added. So that is what is happening in insert operation. So this is the case what we can look out when we are inserting an element. So in this case we are inserting an element 5 which is added at the end. So now this element 5 becomes the last element which is present in the queue. Now when we're performing the delete operation, so since it is operating on first in, first out principle, so what happens is, if I want to delete any element, it will be the element at the starting that can be deleted. I cannot delete any other elements which are present in between or at the end of the queue. So if I have to specify, if I have to delete, if I have to perform the delete operation on the queue, in this case, if I just see what is the element pointed by the front pointer, it is element -2. Now this element has to be deleted from the list. So if I have to delete this from the list, the next element which is present in the queue becomes the first element of the queue. So here what is done is, if I have to delete this element, I increment the pointer front and make it to point to element 22. So that is what I am doing in this case. So when I do that, this will be the new queue which is obtained after I delete an element from the queue. Now again, when we are performing either insert or delete operation, we need to take care of few conditions. Suppose if you want to insert an element, you try to see whether the queue is empty or not, and then you keep on adding the elements. So that is one thing. And if you're specifying some size limit, you have to check out whether the queue is full or not. So if that condition has to be put in, you can put in that condition. And while you're deleting the element, you need to check whether the queue is empty or not. If the queue is empty, you cannot perform any delete operation. So that is, these are few checks what you have to do when you're performing these operations. So what will be the steps which you will be following when you are performing the insert operation? So first thing what you will be doing is you will be receiving the element that has to be inserted into the queue. So since you are inserting the element in the queue, what you are doing is you need to increment the pointer. So which pointer you will be incrementing? You will be incrementing the pointer which is pointing to the end of the queue. So which is identified by what? It is identified by the rear pointer. So you will be incrementing the rear pointer which is pointing at the end of the queue. And at that location, you will be storing the element what you have received. So this is these are the steps what you will be performing when you are looking for insert operation. Now in this case, again, as I specified, if the queue is full, what will happen? So if the queue is full, we come across the queue overflow condition in which we cannot add any elements to the queue. So that is what you can observe when the queue is full. Now, next, this thing, what are the steps we can look out when we are performing the delete operation? So again, in this case, what happens is if I want to perform a delete operation, I'll be deleting the element which is at the starting of the queue. So which is pointed, which is basically pointed by the pointer which is termed as front pointer. So in this way, either we retrieve the element or delete or remove the element from the queue. So in order to do that, we make use of the pointer which we have specified as the front pointer, which basically identifies the first element in the queue. And in this process, what you have to do is you have to increment the pointer and make it such that it goes and points to the next immediate element which follows the element that has been deleted. So that is here we had observed that if this is the element that has to be deleted, this front pointer should be incremented in such a way that it goes and points to the next element which is present in this queue. So that is what you have to perform. Now, what if I try to do a delete operation when the queue is empty? So under that case, I come across the term which we call as queue underflow. So this occurs when the queue is empty and you are trying to perform the delete operation. So now here are a few basic operations what we can look out for when we are dealing with queue. So here we have the queue. So initially what happens is if the queue is empty, both the front pointer and the rear pointer will be pointing to the same memory location initially. That is, they'll be pointing at the same point or they might be initialized to null, which gives an indication that the queue is empty. So it is again dependent on whether you are going for array implementation or you are going for the linked list implementation, as we have seen in stack, right? In the same way, we can observe even in queue. So if you're going for array, both are initialized to 0 or -1, both are initialized to -1, or else both can be initialized to null. So it can vary how logical, how the implementation you want to go ahead. It is not necessary that you have to go for -1, but since you are incrementing an array, right? If you go for -1, so you can continue with these operations. So initially front and rear pointers say, I'll assume it that they are pointing to, they are having null pointers in these, which gives an indication that the queue is empty. Now what I do is I perform the insert operation and I want to insert the element A in that. So what is the first thing I check? I check whether the queue is full or not. So if the queue is full, then I come across the condition that there is a queue overflow. If that condition fails, if the queue is not full, then I can insert the element. So here what I do is I increment the front and the rear pointers to the new location, and at that location I insert the element in the queue. And since there is only one element in this, both front and the rear pointers will be pointing to the same element. Since there is only one element in this case, what we are observing. Now next, again, I want to insert another element B. So in this case, what has to be done? Again, you check whether the queue is full or not. If the queue is full, you come across the condition of queue overflow. If the queue is not full, you can add the element that is B over here. So what you do is you increment the rear pointer so that it points to new memory location. It points to new memory location, and in this new memory location, you insert the element in the queue. So similarly, insert C will add the element C at the end. So now next here we are saying that we are performing the delete operation. We are performing the delete operation. Now delete operation, we need to keep that it is first in, first out. So if that is the case, then what happens is the element which is present at the starting of the queue. So in this case, A, B, C are the elements, and A was the element which was present at the first. That is, it is present at the start of the queue. So now when I perform delete operations, first thing what I have to check is whether queue is empty or not. So if queue is not empty, or if queue is empty, we come across the condition that queue and underflow condition will be occurring. If queue is not empty, then what I do is I delete or I retrieve the element which is present at the start of the queue. And how do I obtain the element which is present at the start of the queue? I make use of the pointer which is named as front. So using this, I either retrieve this element or I delete the element. And what I do is I increment the pointer so that the next element which is present in the queue becomes the first element of the queue. So the front pointer is incremented and it points to the new element, which is in this case, it is B. So this again, say after this delete operation, if I perform insert operation. So again, as I specified that you can insert the element at the end of the queue. So here, what is the element which is present at the end? It is C, which is identified by the rear pointer. So now what we do is we see that still some memory locations are available for the element to be inserted. So what we do is we increment the rear pointer and insert the element Z at the end. So now Z becomes the new element which is present at the end of the queue, and B becomes the new element which is present at the starting of the queue. So in this way, you can see that insert and delete operations are performed. Now let us look at the array implementation pertaining to queue. So let us have a look at the algorithm which is used to realize the insert operation. And in this case, we are making use of the arrays for implementing the queues. So the name of the algorithm is insert, and you are passing on the parameters which is queue and what is the maximum size of the queue, the element, the front pointer and the rear pointer. So in stacks, if you remember, you had just passed the stack parameter and the element what you are inserting. There you did not had any other aspects over there. Since in this case, what happens is front and rear pointers keep on changing. We need to keep track of those. So let us see what happens with all these aspects. So what is the first thing you need to check? You need to check whether the front pointer is null. So what is this telling? It is giving us information whether the queue, that is whether there are any elements present or not. Whether there are any elements present or not. So if that is the case, that is if this is true, it indicates that the queue is empty. If front is equal to null, it indicates that queue is empty. So what you have to do is you have to initialize the front and the rear pointer to point to the first memory location. That is, so both are null, and in array implementation, the first index is 0. So what you do is you initialize the front and rear elements that is the rear pointers to point to the first element, that is which is identified by the index 0. So that is what is being done over here. Front equal to rear is equal to 0. So this is the first element what you are inserting. If this condition is true, then the element what you are inserting will be the first element which is present in the queue. So after that, what you do is you insert the element into the new location which is identified by the front, pointer. And then what you do is you go and stop this process of inserting the element into the queue. Now, suppose if front is not equal to null, so it indicates that at least one element is present in the queue. At least one element is present in the queue. So then if that is the case, then what you do is you go and check whether the rear pointer or the rear index value is equal to max minus 1. So why it is again max minus 1? As we had seen that array, what happens is we can access the elements using the index parameters. Say if I say specify 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here I can store maximum of how many values? 5. So what is the maximum index I can have? Maximum number of elements that you can insert minus 1. That's the index what you can have. So if the rear index reaches this, then you give an indication that that the queue is full. You specify that condition. So if rear is equal to max minus 1, then go to step 7. So in step 7, what you're performing, you are informing that the queue is full. That is, you came across the queue overflow condition. And after that, you stop this insertion process. Or else what you do is you insert the element. So you got to know that if this condition fails, you get an indication that still there is some memory location available for the element to be inserted. So what you do is, and at what point you are inserting after this location. So you have to do rear plus 1 and update the rear pointer. So in this case, that is what you're doing. Rear is equal to rear plus 1. You are incrementing the rear index by 1 or rear pointer by 1. And at that location, you are storing the element in the queue and you are stopping the process. So that is what you are doing in this case. So in insertion operation, first thing what you do is you check whether there are any elements present in the queue. If there are no elements present, then you insert the element and update the front and rear pointers. So if there are no elements and you're inserting the elements, that element becomes the first element to be present in the queue. Now, if there is at least one element in the queue, or if the condition fails, it gives an indication that front is not equal to null. So it indicates that there is at least one element present in the queue, but you need to cross verify whether the queue is full. If the queue is full, you have to go and stop the process because you have come across the queue overflow condition. But if queue is not full, then what happens is you can insert the element at the rear, that is at the end of the queue. So that is what you are performing in insert operation. So now let us look at the algorithm which is used to realize the delete operation in the queues. And again, we are considering the array implementation of the queues. So in this case, what we have the name of the algorithm which is given as queue, and we have the queue which is being passed over here with the information pertaining to what is the maximum size of the queue. Then front and the rear pointers or rear elements are being passed on. Now here, when we are deleting the elements, what is the first thing we need to check? We need to check whether front is equal to null and rear is equal to null. You are performing both the conditions. So if these two are satisfied, it gives us an indication that queue is empty. Queue is empty. So you display the message telling that the queue is empty and you stop the process of deletion. Now, if this condition fails, either of these conditions fail. So what will happen is you have to go to step 4. In step 4, what you're doing is if front is not equal to null, and front is equal to rear, if front is not equal to null and front is equal to rare, then you go to step 5. And in step 5, what you are doing is you are accessing the element which is identified by the front pointer. You are accessing the element which is identified by the front pointer, and you are setting the pointers front and rear to -1 in this case. Now here basically what you are doing is, if you just observe in this case, you're checking whether front is not equal to null, whether front is not equal to null and front is equal to rear. So what is this condition doing? It is telling that if these two are true, then it gives an indication that there is only one element present in the queue. There is only one element which is present in the queue. So now if I have this element, then if I perform the delete operation in this case, after this step, I perform the delete operation. So when I perform the delete operation, what happens is this is the only element which is present. So when I perform the delete operation, queue will be empty. So how do I check out for the condition of the empty this thing? So if I have to delete this element, so what I do is I initialize both these pointers to -1 in this condition. So that is what is being checked over here. So if front is not equal to null and front is equal to rare, you are checking that whether there is only one element present in the list in the queue. So if that is the case, you retrieve or delete the element which is pointed by the front pointer, and you initialize the pointers front and rear to -1. So and say in this case you are returning or you are retrieving the element and passing it to the function that is calling the delete operation. Now suppose if this condition fails off, so it gives an indication that there is more than one element present in the queue. That is, there are more than one element. So this is the case. Say here we have done it. So after this, we are performing the delete operation. So when we are performing the delete operation, we need to eliminate the first element and we need to increment the pointer. So that is what we have to check out. So here, if this condition fails off, it gives an indication that there is at least more, that there is at least one element, that is there are more than one element present in the queue. Therefore, you have to go to step 8. So in step 8, what you are doing is you are retrieving the element which is pointed by the front pointer or the front index from the queue, and you are returning the element what you have retrieved. And once you perform this step, right, you need to update the front pointer. Let us look into the C programming aspect and see what the logical implementation we have done over there. So in this way, you keep on moving ahead and you perform the delete operation. So here we can see it is almost similar to the one what we have discussed for stack. Only one extra thing which comes is the pointers which are present over here. So here, let us check out in. So this is a C program which is implementing the queue using the array concept. So we here the header files have been included. Then we have the queue which is being declared over here, which can hold up to 100 elements, and it will be holding elements of the type integer in this case. Now at the starting, what happens is since the queue will be empty when we start off the program, we initialize the front and the rear pointers with -1. So -1 helps us to identify that the queue is empty. So that is what we can look out when we are implementing it in the logical point of view. So next, this thing is the functions insert, delete, and display. Okay. So here DEL is used. You cannot use DELETE. That is the complete name which they have specified over here. So there and some programs it was given as delete. So just be careful because it's a keyword which is used over here. So DEL is the function which is used to delete the element. So here insert is the name of the function and it accepts a parameter which is of the type integer and it returns nothing. And DEL is the function which is used to delete the element. It accepts no parameter, but it returns a parameter which is of the type integer. And display is a function which is used to display or print the elements which are present in the queue onto the screen. It is accepting no parameters and it is not returning any of the parameters. So now again, in the main function, we declare all the variables which are required. So let us see what are these variables used for. So again, we perform this operation in an infinite while loop. So unless and until the user presses the exit option. So in this case, you can observe what we have. We are asking the user to enter one of the choices, that is 1, 2, 3, or 4. So in this case, if 1 is opted, you insert the element into the queue. If 2 is opted, you delete the element from the queue. If 3 is opted, you display the elements. And if 4 is opted by the user, you exit the entire function. So here you ask the choice from the user and you are storing it in the variable which is named as choice. So now based on the choice, you make use of the switch case statement. So which helps us to identify that based on the choice, which operation has to be performed. Now, if the user has entered 1, that is, in that case, we go and execute the statements which fall under case 1. Case 1. So in this, what we are doing is we are asking the user to enter the number that he wants to insert into the queue. So we store that parameter or that variable in the or the element in num1, and we call the insert operation and pass the number which we want to insert. So if the user enters 2, that is option 2, then you need to call the delete function. So since delete returns an integer parameter and num2 is an integer parameter variable, so what you do is you write the you call the function in this form, that is num2 is equal to delete. So delete will be returning the number that has been deleted and that will be coming and sitting in num2. Now here, if num2 is minus 9,999, you're doing nothing. You are doing nothing. So let us see what this minus 999 means in the delete operation. So here, just a semicolon is there, so no statements are present. Else, what you're doing is you're printing that element has been removed from the queue. So next, what you have, if 3 is opted, you call the display function. If 4 is opted, you call the exit function, which exits the entire program. Okay. And by default, if it enters any other option, you specify that the choice is invalid. So this is what you are looking out. So let us look at the functions one by one. So insert is the function which is used to insert the element. So element variable will be holding the number or the parameter what you want to add onto the queue. Now, before you want to add this element onto the queue, what is the first thing you check? You check whether front is equal to -1. So if front is equal to -1, what does this indicate? This indicates that the queue is empty. The queue is empty because if at the starting, if you observe what we had done, we had initialized the front and the rear pointers to -1. So if this is true, then what happens is the element what you have passed will be the first element which will be added onto the queue. So therefore, what you do, you initialize the front pointer and the rear pointer to the first location where the element will be stored. So that is what you can observe over here. So here it is this queue is empty and A is the first element that you are adding. So front and rear pointers both will be pointing to the first element over here. So therefore both will be having the same values. So front is equal to rear is equal to front plus 1. Now, so once you have incremented these values, you store this element in the queue at the address or the index which is pointed by the front pointer, or even you can use the rear pointer. So you store it at that point and then you return. So since you have already inserted. So now if this condition fails, so if front is not equal to -1, this gives an indication that the queue that there is at least one element which is present in the queue, at least one element which is present. So now if that is the case, what is the next thing you have to check? So if this fails off, you get to know that there is at least one element which is present in the queue. So you go and check whether the queue is full or not. So in this case, what we are doing is since we keep on incrementing the rear pointer as we add on the elements, what we are doing is we check the case of the stack based on the rear pointer. So if rear pointer or the rear index reaches 99, why 99? Because here we have declared an array which is of the size 100. So if I keep on checking the index values, right, index will start from 0, 1, so on up to 99. So there will be total 100 elements. So the last element's index will be 99. So here what happens is if rear is equal to 99, so it indicates that you have reached at the end of the queue. You have reached at the end. So in that case, what you're doing is you print that queue is full and you return back. Now, even if this condition fails, so it indicates that there is some memory space available wherein you can insert the queue at the end of the queue. So here what you do is you increment the rear pointer to point to the next location. And at that location, that is a new location, you insert the element into the queue. So that is what you're doing in the insert operation. So here what we are doing is we are adding and we are deleting the element from one end. So in this case, we are inserting, we are keeping track of the rear pointer and the front pointer. So this is the logic what they have utilized for implementing the queue over here. So next in the delete operation, what is done is no parameter will be passed because it is operating on first in first out principle in which the element which is pointed by the first pointer will be deleted. So now let us see what is the case. So first thing what you have to check out is you check out whether front is equal to 1 and rear is also equal to -1 and rear is also equal to -1. What is this indicating? This is indicating that the queue is empty. So if queue is empty, you have the queue underflow condition. So therefore, what you do is you specify queue is empty and you return what you are returning -999. And this -999, now you can check over here that it will be stored in num2. So in num2 -999 comes when the queue is full. So already you when the queue is empty. So already you have displayed the message. So you are not performing any operation over here. So otherwise what you're doing is you are printing that the element has been deleted. So here, so first check is you check whether the queue is empty. So if queue is not empty, then we check whether the queue has only one element left. You check out whether queue has only it has only one element left in the queue. So here what happens is if I come to this. So here if you just observe what we have one element which is present. So first thing is you check whether the queue is empty. So in that case, you can specify queue is empty. You cannot perform the operation. You are returning -999. Now, if there is only one element present, so if you just see what will be the front pointer will not be equal to -1. So if I just check out here, front pointer will or the front index will not be equal to -1. It will be say 0 or greater than 0. And apart from that, if front and rear pointers both are equal, then we get to know that there is only one element which is present over here. So that is what you're cross verifying. So you're keeping a double check over here and you're performing this operation. So you get to know that if there is only one element present, then once I delete this element, the queue will become empty. Queue will become empty. So I have to keep track of this part. So what I do is I retrieve the element which is pointed by the front pointer, because I make use of the principle first in, first out. So what is the index which helps me to identify the element which is present at the starting? It is the front pointer. So the element which is pointed by the front pointer or the index will be accessed in the queue and stored in I. And since I am deleting the element and there is only one element left, what I have to do is I have to initialize front and rear pointers to -1, which gives an indication that the queue is empty now. Queue is empty, and you return the element what you have retrieved from the queue and you print it onto the screen. So that is what you're doing in this case. Now suppose if this also fails, then it gives an indication that there is more than one element present in the queue. So now here what I have to do is I have to return the element which is pointing by the front pointer and increment the pointer. So here again, if I just check out. So first I checked whether queue is empty, whether queue is empty. If not, then I checked whether there is only one element. If not, if there is more than one element, then what I have to do is I have to retrieve or delete this element and increment the pointer. So first thing what I have to do is I have to access the element which is pointed by the front pointer. Say if I have to retrieve it and store it in another element and return it. After doing that, I increment the pointer so that it points to the next element which is present in the list. So that is what we are doing in this case. So this is the step what you are looking out for. So first you checked whether the list is empty, queue is empty. Then you checked whether there is only one element present in the queue. Then what you did is even if this condition fails, then you get an indication that there is at more than one element which is present in the queue. So what I do is, so this is again first use the front pointer and then you increment it. So what is happening is whatever value is present in the front, so that index will be utilized and that element will be accessed from the queue and that will be returned. So once that is done, after that process, the front pointer will be incremented. So that is what you are doing in the delete operation over here. And lastly, display this thing. What you're doing is first you're checking whether the list is empty. If the list is empty, then you can print nothing. But if at least one element is present, you start off printing by making use of the front. You initialize the index to the front pointer and you keep on printing the elements till you reach the element which is pointed by the rear pointer. So this is what you're doing in the display function. So this is what we have for queue, in which we have made use of the array concept for implementing the queues. So this is what we have discussed. OK, so when we come in the next session, right, we'll be discussing regarding linked list implementation of queues. OK, so in which we will be making use of the dynamic memory allocation and deallocation process. So this is all for today. Let us meet in the next session. OK, thank you.